One night, one simple song. That changed Christmas forever. In 1818, in a small Austrian village, Christmas was quiet. No grand celebrations, just cold air and silence. The church organ was broken, leaving the festive season without its familiar sound. For the people of Oberndorf, it was a Christmas Eve that felt empty, a stark contrast to the joy they hoped for. The air hung heavy with a sense of loss, a silence that was more than just the absence of music. A young priest named Joseph Mohr looked out at his congregation, at the faces of his community, and felt the need to bring back a sense of hope, a glimmer of light in the cold winter darkness. He knew something had to be done, something small yet meaningful. He wanted something simple, words anyone could understand, music anyone could feel. That evening, Mohr took a poem he had written 2 years earlier and walked to his friend Franz Xaver Gruber, a local schoolmaster and organist. He asked him to compose a melody for it, not for the broken organ but for a guitar. The instrument was humble, often seen as common, not something for a sacred church service. But that was the point. The song was written for a guitar, not for kings, not for grand halls, but for people. In just a few hours, Gruber created a gentle, flowing tune that perfectly captured the serene beauty of Mohr's words. That very night, on Christmas Eve, the two men stood before the altar and performed Stille Nacht for the first time, their voices and a simple guitar filling the silent church. No one expected the song to travel. No one expected it to last. It was a local solution to a temporary problem, a song born of necessity. But people carried it, from village to village, from heart to heart. An organ repairman who visited Oberndorf heard the melody and took the sheet music with him. Soon, traveling folk singers, the Reiner and Strasser families added the carol to their repertoire. They performed it across Europe, even for royalty. The song's journey was slow, passed from one person to another like a whispered secret. It crossed borders and oceans, not through grand pronouncements, but through the quiet power of its simple message, an unforgettable melody. During times of fear and conflict, the song appeared again, sung quietly, shared softly. Perhaps its most powerful moment came a century later, during the First World War. On Christmas Eve of 1914, along the Western Front, soldiers from opposing trenches laid down their weapons. They emerged into no man's land, and in the stillness, voices began to rise, singing Stille Nacht and Silent Night. For one brief moment, a simple carol transcended the hatred and violence of war. It became an anthem of peace, a reminder of shared humanity when the world needed it most. It showed that even in the darkest of times, a simple song could create a space for peace and connection. The song was never loud, it never demanded attention, it simply stayed because it spoke to something deeply human. Its power isn't in its complexity, but in its profound simplicity. It captures a universal feeling, a longing for peace, a moment of calm, a sense of wonder. From a small, quiet village in Austria to every corner of the globe, it has been translated into hundreds of languages. 200 years later, it remains one of the most beloved carols in history, a testament to how a small act of creativity, born from a simple need, can echo through generations. Some songs don't entertain us, they stay with us. Thank you for watching. Subscribe for more stories that change the world.